As Arab Islamic Summit enters second day, President Tinubu insists world leaders are morally obligated to end Israel-Hamas war.
Ipman, Dangote reach agreement to lift PMS, AGO, DPK directly.
Nigerian Labour Congress demands implementation of minimum wage in all states.
And on Good Morning Nigeria today, our focus is on fast-tracking implementation of local government autonomy.
Well, as they say, it is no longer news that local governments in Nigeria now have financial autonomy. Now, the news, however, is that states are still grappling with implementation of this Supreme Court decision.
That's absolutely true, Victor. And though a state like Nasarawa has abolished its joint account with local governments, other states like Oyo are still speaking against what they call a lacuna created by the Apex Court's decision.
Well, Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees is also raising concerns over this delay by governors and seeks federal government intervention in the matter.
Several efforts have been made by the federal government to address this issue. For instance, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, indicated that funds allocated to local governments would be traced.
Yes, Yanre, the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, is also looking into the matter. He says state laws on the conduct of local government polls will be examined, and those yet to conduct elections will also have a case to answer.
So far, states like Bauchi, Kebbi, Kwara, Imo, Enugu, Sokoto, Akwa Ibom, Nasarawa, Anambra, Benue, Rivers, Kogi and Kaduna have conducted local government elections. Other states like Katsina and Osun have scheduled these elections for February 1, 2025.
So why have some states, refused, or why are they yet to implement the Supreme Court's decision on financial autonomy granted local governments in the country? We had a conversation on this issue a while back when the Apex Court gave the verdict. But today, our conversation is on fast-tracking implementation. Welcome to Good Morning Nigeria. I am Victor Azu.
Back to your question, why some states are yet to fast-track the implementation? The governors have the right answer to that question, yes.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm Henry John. I'm not yet a governor of any state, so I'm sure our guest will give us all the answers that we need as regards the local government autonomy and the way forward. Welcome to the second episode of the program this week. We're reaching you live on the network service of the NTA. In the course of the program, we'll bring you news for review. Then Chukwudi Okolubaja will join us. But for now, let's hear what's trending in the news. Sawa Khalil Ibrahim reads that to us. Sawa, good morning to you.
Good morning, Henry and Victor. Here is the news. Concerns are being raised over the immeasurable suffering caused by the prolonged conflict in Gaza. President Bola Tinubu raised this concern at a joint Islamic Summit currently in its second day in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He says there is an urgent need to find a diplomatic end to the Israel-Hamas crisis, an issue that tops the agenda, with world leaders emphasizing collective need to end the war in Gaza and humanitarian crisis. President Tinubu is leading Nigeria's delegation to the summit. He says the world has a moral obligation to end the war as he advocates for a two-state solution and compromise to bring hostility to a halt.
I call upon all of us to come together in solidarity, to stand firm in our resolve and to work towards peaceful coexistence, free from fear and violence. Together, we can turn the vision of a two-state solution into reality. I say until then, we cannot relent.
Independent Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, says it now has an agreement to get supply of PMS, AGO, and DPK directly from Dangote refinery for distribution to its depot and retail outlets. IPMAN says the agreement was reached at a meeting with the refinery where a pledge was made to commence the supply of products to over 30,000 IPMAN members and 150,000 retail outlets nationwide. Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has directed all state councils of the union where the national minimum wage has not been fully implemented by first day of December 2024 to proceed on strike. The union issued this directive after its National Executive Council meeting held in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, to address urgent issues facing Nigerian workers and the Nigerian nation. In a statement, NLC expresses deep frustration over a delay by some state government to implement the 2024 National Minimum Wage Act, describing it as a betrayal of the Constitution and denial of the rights of workers. The union resolved to set up a National Minimum Wage Implementation Committee that will, among others, commence a nationwide assessment, mobilization, and sensitization campaign, educating workers and citizens on their dignity and right. It also called for the implementation of comprehensive social protection policies that shield Nigerians from poverty, provide affordable health care, and ensure a wage that reflects the true cost of living. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to fostering dialogue, reconciliation, and healing among ethnic nationalities that make up our great nation. In a special message commemorating the 2024 Ogoni Matters Remembrance Day, President Tinubu stand in solidarity with the National Youth Council of Ogoni people and all Ogoni citizens to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of the Ogoni nation's interests. This year's commemoration, themed after prize comes praise, reflect our collective commitment to acknowledging the pain and the lessons of the past as we aspire for a brighter future. The President, in a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, reaffirmed that his administration will actively address historical grievances and work toward building a united and prosperous nation for future generations. This vision will be realized through constructive engagement and mutual respect. Oil was first commercially discovered in Oloibiri, Ogoni land in 1958. Subsequent struggles of Ogoni leaders to protect their environment from harmful oil exploration were met with severe repression, culminating in the tragic execution of Ken Saro-Wiwa and 8 other leaders in 1995. The acting chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Olatubosun, has held a strategic engagement with Army formations and units under the 8th Division area of responsibility to boost troops' morale and operational capabilities in combating escalating menace of banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism under the Northwest Theater Operation Hadarin Daji for enhanced national security. The Army Chief operational visit is to further galvanize support and cooperation of the Sokoto communities in sharing crucial information with security forces that will aid in dismantling the networks of notorious groups and restoring peace in the to the affected communities in the region and country. World leaders are meeting for the second day in Baku, Azerbaijan, to address the rampant climate crisis and hold each other to account and examine the role they are playing to limit global warming. It was reported that without the Conference of Parties meeting regularly to advise ways to fight climate change, humanity, report says, will be headed towards 5 degrees of global warming, with energy bills going up even more. Executive Secretary of the UN Climate, Simon Still, in his opening remarks, believes countries will be economically uncompetitive with further global instability, costing precious lives if nations don't act swiftly. That's the news at this time. Good Morning Nigeria continues shortly with Henry and Victor after this break.